fast forward to this audition I had at Second City to be in a sketch and improv group. I didn't get in that group, but I got in another group. And at the time, y'all, I didn't know the difference between sketch and improv and theater and musical theater. And if it said theater, I thought you were just an actress.
Right.
I didn't know that being in a straight play was different from being in a musical theater play, and being in a musical play was different from being in a sketch and improv.
Yeah.
I had no idea. So my very first play was at Impact in Chicago.
Nice.
Which was it was called Victory Gardens Greenhouse back then, which is now, I think it's just the greenhouse now.
Yeah.
So my first play was at Breadline Theater, and then Impact. And then from doing a show that he wrote, some of the bigger theaters started taking notice and coming out. And then I just kind of, opened the door for me to go to work at Looking Glass and Steppenwolf and the Goodman and Northlight and all the big regional theaters in Chicago. So you name it, I've been there.
Nice. That's what's up. Yeah.
Okay. So let's just jump right into, before we talk about your show, your experience with APB. It seems like you moved away to come back here to work home in Chicago. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, isn't that that's always how it happens. And it was what's crazy is that when we had made the decision to move, we had finally decided, you know what? After this last play, he was doing a show at Looking Glass.
Right.
A show at Steppenwolf. I had done back-to-back shows at Steppenwolf. And people started offering us jobs.
There was a play where we could have been wife and husband.
Or boyfriend and girlfriend.
Was it boyfriend? Yeah,
boyfriend and
girlfriend. And we said, no, we gotta
make the move. I mean, that's what happens. Like all this, the theater that you want to work in, that you just want to get an audition at.
Right.
Like, we're fortunate to get auditions at these places. Started offering jobs, and we have to say it's time to go. So I finished the show at Steppenwolf. He was on tour with Looking Glass. I moved to New York to do a play at the Public Theater there, a play called Barbecue by Robert O'Hara.
Oh, yeah.
The Barbecue at the Public, and then I decided to stay for pilot season in New York. The show ended, I think, in November, December. Pilot season was January through whatever. We moved to LA while I was there doing pilot season. We moved to LA. We said, we're going to find this apartment. I'm going to come back to LA, get all my stuff, go back to Chicago, get the rest of the stuff. But let's go look at these apartments in LA. Right. Signed a lease in LA. 2 days later, they said, oh, you booked this pilot that shoots back in Chicago. 2 days after signing a lease, and y'all know LA is high. It's just a different like cost of living and everything. And so we said, okay, we're gonna keep this lease because pilots get picked up or not picked up all the time. So, there's a chance that we might not go. Well, fast forward, I'm pregnant as hell. At this point, I'm 6 months. By the way, I forgot to mention I got knocked up by him on a conjugal visit. He visited in New York one weekend on a Monday, and I got pregnant.
No doubt.
I don't edit that. The people need to know. The people need to know that on conjugal visits, you can't get pregnant.
It's so long.
I love it.
So literally, I'm 6 months pregnant shooting this pilot. We finished right off the pilot. I came back to LA, and then you had the 2 months to wait to hear if you get a series pickup. Right. So we got a series pickup right before Charlie was born, and then literally 2 weeks after she was born in July, headed back to Chicago to live the 6 months. Right. So I left the place here.
When you broke out to LA, did you have anything lined up, like agents, anything like that?
So when I'm still with Stewart Talent in Chicago.
Right.
So I'm just with Stewart across the board, Chicago, New York, and LA. So fortunately, when I went to New York, I was able to sign. Now, they weren't obligated to sign me just because I was with Chicago. I had to interview. And then for LA, it didn't hurt that I had booked a pilot. Like, they were like, oh, she booked a pilot. We're going to go ahead and sign her anyway. So it was just a matter of do I want to be with Stewart in LA. Right. But yeah, fortunately, when I went out there, I had that representation. And then...
Yeah, a few months later, I signed with a literary agent.
Right.
there.
Fine with Stuart first.
Stuart first, right?
Stuart
And then Gersh.
Yeah.
The literary.
Right. So both of y'all write, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
So what do you see like the common thread between, and I love your show, where do you think the common thread is between writing a piece and getting into a character? Like what are the similarities, like the things that are in common in the two?
Well, it's interesting because when we're writing or creating the character, we often already have the character in mind when we start writing it. But I don't know, we write it first and then we discover things as we go. So as we're about to rehearse it or rehearse it, if we have time to rehearse. We have a toddler that
Oh yeah, we have a child. But I think the bigger thing is that you kind of write what you know.
Right.
And so, like this season of Tam and Kevin has literally come from conversations that we were sitting on the couch having.
Yeah.
Like we saw the first our very first one this season was with the mask. The birthday hat we used as a mask. Kevin was over there playing with Charlie, put on the birthday hat.
Yeah.
And I said, what if it gets so bad they got to use these birthday hats for masks? And Kevin said, we got to write it down. And literally 5 minutes later, we shot it.
Nice.
5 minutes later, we shot it.
Right.
So a lot of the stuff just comes out of conversation and the time and what's going
everything
on.
like on the news, just or binging. We binge watched Ozark, and then we wrote an episode inspired by Ozark. But a lot of it's the times and what we're seeing on TV.
Right. I love that episode. I love that episode with Chuck. Charlie's in a couple episodes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. And I love that episode of the Ozark. Y'all had that nailed down so much. I was busting up. So like for those who may not have any idea what it's like to put up a show, like what is the process? What are y'all shooting on? What do you shoot with to film stuff?
So right here, this
look at the iPhone 5 and this iPhone 6.
I love it.
Do you guys use lenses or just?
Yeah, and we use everything in the
everything in the house.
And we haven't bought a lot of.
We haven't bought anything, guys. like
the dollar store.
He bought some 50-cent poster boards the other day for the protest team. But I said to him the other day, I was like, man, I'm tired of this house being our set for everything. I can't wait to be able to go somewhere and shoot. Like the house is, and we just find different corners of the house.
Yeah.